Jonathan Coleman, case number 23-00732.
Tiffany Woods for the people.
Yeah, good morning, Tom Piotrowski on behalf of Mr. Coleman. Mr. Coleman, would you identify yourself, please? You're on mute, sir.
Jonathan Coleman, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I have before me the pre-sentence investigation report regarding the sentencing, but I also have a motion to terminate counsel, which I believe is a motion to withdraw in this particular case. Is that correct, Mr. Piotrowski?
That is correct, Your Honor. I would rely on the contents of my motion in the court, if the court were to grant my request, as well as the contents of a letter. I believe it's about 12 pages long that my client submitted to the court. I think it all is pretty much self-explanatory that there has been a complete breakdown in the attorney-client relationship.
Thank you. Ms. Woods?
Judge, I believe the victim is here to speak at sentencing.
What?
I hope we're going to reset sentencing because he's not going to have an attorney to go forward.
Do I need an attorney, Your Honor?
It is probably in your best interest, Mr. Coleman.
It hasn't been in my best interest so far, with all due respect. I've had two attorneys completely be negligent and disregard everything that I've told them. I'm going to appeal based on that fact alone. They've been completely negligent. I don't understand how I can go through this entire process for more than a year and not be able to speak at all. My attorney advised me not to testify. I went into court thinking that I was going to testify. There was a lot that happened in this year and a half, Your Honor, that has not been discussed. And I honestly, I feel like it's very shady. I feel like I was kind of pushed into this.
Mr. Coleman, I got and received your 12-page letter and reviewed every bit of it. If you choose to not have counsel, sir, I need you to fully understand that you could get up to 93 days in the Washington County Jail. If you choose to not have counsel, as long as you understand that, then you can do that.
And do you think that if I had counsel, that would help, that would change that?
I'm telling you, sir, that it's never advisable to not have counsel.
All right. When would we have this adjourned to?
So give me one moment and we will get there.
Okay.
I think a part of, so at this point in time, given the nature of the statements in the motion to terminate counsel, as well as the statements in the 12-page report that was provided by Mr. Coleman, along with the statements that he said today, I do believe that there's been a breakdown in the attorney-client relationship between Mr. Piotrowski and Mr. Coleman. I will allow for him to withdraw from this case. We will need to have another counsel appointed by the appointing authority, unless you think you're going to have your own attorney. I don't know if the attorney that you're hiring to appeal is the same attorney that you want to have for your appeals. Or okay.
It is.
Then,
I would like, sorry, Your Honor, I would like a public defender.
all right. Well, it won't be a public defender. It will be appointed counsel.
That's
already quite the same. I will refer this back over to the appointing authority so that you can have new counsel appointed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Give me one moment to fill out the paperwork. All right. And I understand you say that the victim is present today.
That's correct, Judge. She's Hope Bricolette. She's on Zoom.
Is it your request that she be able to speak today, and I can take that in consideration for the sentencing when it does occur? Or are you requesting that she be able to come back on a different date?
Judge, I think it would just be easier for her to make her statement today. That way she does not have to come back if her schedule doesn't allow or if she can't make it. Just to at least get that statement done and made to the court.
Thank you. She may speak at this time.
Hello, Your Honor. I do have to keep my camera off because I'm currently feeding my child. Give me one moment.
Your Honor, if I may add, while we're waiting for her, and I know the court is going to grant my motion, or I assume that the court is granting my motion, it might be more appropriate for, and I know it's an inconvenience for the victim to speak at this time, but since Mr. Coleman is going to have a new attorney, it might be more appropriate that the attorney be present while the victim is making a statement, and I apologize.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to ask that you relay whatever she says today to that attorney, which, the reality is that she's probably going to repeat much of what she said at the trial anyway.
Certainly.
But
May I go ahead?
you may.
Thank you for your time, Your Honor. I know it is valuable. After reading his appeal and what events he's fabricated in attempts to justify his actions, despite my clear-cut statements of leave me alone and this is harassment, which were displayed in the court, I feel compelled to tell you I've never laid a hand on a partner, been one for back and forth relationships, or ever called him in regards to having an STD. I've never once reached out to a sibling because his lies and secrecy were the foundation of our relationship, so I could never decipher what was real or fake with him, his siblings being one of those things. For example, I was also under the impression he was in medical school working on cancer research, apparently another lie. However, what led to the series of events that we're here for today was I found out I was being cheated on the same evening I learned my sister had died. Maya, the other woman, sent me concrete proof of the affair of what had been going on for months. While already emotionally navigating the loss of my baby sister, I was too emotionally drained to handle what I knew would be a messy breakup. Because John has always been
Ma'am, I'm sorry. I think I am going to have to wait because if what you're saying to me is true, and given what he has written to me, it's going to change his sentence. So if he has actually written things that are 12 pages of lies, that's going to be very different in terms of a sentencing than if what he's saying has some truth to it. So I'm going to need you to come back. He's going to need to get his counsel, and we're going to have to do some deep dive into this, because the reality is if what he's written to me is actually lies, that's scary, and it's very concerning.
correct.
So I'm going to need you to come back. I think
That's okay. I can do that.
All right,
This is
thank you.
important to me, so I can definitely carve out the time.
All right. I'm gonna bring this. I'm gonna come back on February 24th at 10 o'clock. Mr. Coleman, I certainly hope that we don't do a deeper dive into this, and you wrote me a whole 12 pages of lies.
Your Honor, I didn't write you 12 pages of lies. It has been a year and a half. I hope that I have as much evidence as I believe that I have. But I would absolutely love to do a deeper dive into this. The things that I wrote in that report were all true, all 100% true. And I've been doing this and talking to my attorneys about this and using Google. And I have a whole, for the last year and a half. So all of it is very true.
I will see you back here on February 24th.
And I'm sorry, Your Honor, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Well, is it going to be in person or over Zoom?
It'll be over Zoom, sir.
Thank you.
February 24th, 2024 at 9 a.m. will be the sentencing. defendant, I'm sorry, at 10 a.m.
In 2025, I believe as well.
That too. All right, let me start over with that. February 24th, 2025, at 10 a.m., defendant is referred to the appointing authority. I'm signing the order of termination of counsel for Mr. Peter Trasky.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I'll see everybody back here at 10.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So I'll discontinue.